A simple argument over a parking space outside of Walmart in a deadly shooting. And now the entire internet debate one question. Was this self-defense or did this situation escalate way too far? Let's get into it. Now authorities say the incident happened outside of Walmart in North Lauderdale, Florida, right? Now according to investigators, 62-year-old Bart Diguglielmo became involved in a verbal dispute with a woman over a parking space. Now, it should have ended in a few angry words. Instead, turned into a failed shooting after the guy wouldn't stop stalking the young woman. Investigators say cell phone and dash cam video captured much of the confrontation, right? The footage reportedly shows the woman holding a handgun by telling the man to walk away. Moments later, a single gunshot was fired, striking Diguglielmo in the stomach. He was transferred to a nearby hospital where he died from his injuries.
A Florida woman fatally shot an Army veteran over a parking spot dispute at a local Walmart. Let me know your thoughts over in the comments, but I'm showing you this video and I'm going to be showing you guys another video as well, so let me know your thoughts.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
So the thing about Florida is they have a law. It is called the Stand Your Ground Law. And so that there is no misunderstanding about what that law actually is, it's going to be listed up above and everything, and qualifications for the Stand Your Ground law that is in fact in Florida. But let me know your thoughts over in the comments, because as you could see in the second video and everything, the man ended up approaching her. She already had a firearm in her possession. She was legally allowed to have and possess that firearm. She has not been charged with a single crime yet. They are currently investigating on whether or not they will charge this woman. But as you could see in the second video and everything, she ends up, having her firearm off to her side. The man ends up going in front of her, starting some sort of confrontation with this woman and everything. Not only that, but you can see in the video clip, she is backing away, literally trying to get out of the situation, trying to exit, and he keeps on following her. Eventually you see him leave the screen, but then he reappears once again, still going towards her. So let me know your thoughts over in the comments, because a lot of people have mixed feelings about this. A lot of people said no, she was defending herself. This man was clearly trying to go after her because he kept on following her, and other individuals are saying no, she had no right to defend herself or anything, that her life was not in danger, even though this man was coming after her. Not only coming after her, but following her around multiple vehicles. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
The woman, she did remain at the scene. She cooperated with authorities and told investigators, she acted in self-defense. But as of right now, authorities have not publicly identified her, and prosecutors are reviewing the case to determine whether criminal charges to be filed.
I just saw a video from Broward County, Florida, where a man and a woman are in a Walmart parking lot and they get into an argument over a parking space. And the woman is trying to get back to her car, and the man follows her to her car, and she pulls a weapon and she's telling him to get back and to get away from her, and he keeps trying to confront her and keeps charging at her, and she shot him. And conservatives are mad about that. I'm really confused, because why would conservatives be mad about that? It doesn't make any sense, actually. They're mad because she didn't get arrested, which I don't know. I feel like the NRA should have something to say about that, since that's like kind of their whole deal. Don't they hand out those NRA cards that say, like, if you ever have to shoot someone in self-defense, call this number?
Now, Shawty tripping. The NRA don't defend black people at all, so they're not gonna be of any help, whatsoever. They have historically not helped when it was a clear-cut case of self-defense for a black person. Now, those of us with a little sense know those laws weren't created with us in mind. Seems like stand your ground to be used against black people, not help them against a white person.
This type of framing is intentional. It seeks to paint the aggressor as the victim and the victim as the aggressor in an attempt to put political pressure on the Broward County State Attorney's Office to charge this black woman for defending herself. If you just looked at this headline, you would have no idea that there is a video showing this man, a 62-year-old Army veteran, okay, charging after this woman and this woman retreating. You would see her, gun in hand, still retreating, trying to get him to stop chasing after her. She goes around multiple different vehicles to try to get away. And keep in mind, in the state of Florida, a stand your ground state, you have no duty to retreat from an imminent threat. And if you're charging at someone aggressively over a parking space, who knows what you're going to do? I don't understand what we're saying here. And then, okay, some news outlets did have his daughter. And of course, any loss of life is sad. It is horrible. And the daughter was crying and the daughter was upset. And then they go on to say that the daughter was estranged from the father for quite some time, but they did not give a reason for the estrangement. Understand, when the New York Post reports stuff like this, they are trying to rile up a base of people to put political pressure on the state attorney's office to charge this woman for a crime that is not a crime. It is not a crime to defend yourself from a threat. And yes, again, any loss of life is very sad, but you have the ability, you have the right to defend yourself if somebody is charging after you.
So this man and this woman gets into an argument at Walmart over a parking spot. Now things started to escalate.
This morning, the ongoing investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida. A parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart. 62-year-old Bart Diguglielmo shot and killed. Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier, with the two drivers fighting over a parking spot. Diguglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway. The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other, yelling at Diguglielmo, who appears to be yelling back. He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun leveled. She retreats around the car. He follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting Diguglielmo. Police then take the woman into custody. Officials say she claims she was acting in self-defense.
She kept giving him commands, telling him to leave, stop. But now when she defends herself, everybody's like, oh, she shouldn't have shot him. However y'all try to spin the narrative, this man was a Army vet, and he knows the consequences of walking up on somebody with a gun could be deadly. You don't go following people, acting like you're just so entitled that you can do what you want. No, she defended herself, and she shot and killed him. Florida is one of the first states to have the stand your ground law. It clearly states that if somebody is messing with you and you feel like your life is in danger, you don't have to retreat. You can use deadly force to save your life. At the end of the day, she was telling him to stop or she would shoot. She let him know she had a gun. She stood her ground. After she shot him, she didn't run. She stayed on the scene. She waited for the police, and she acted in self-defense, and there were no charges brought against her. Let this be a lesson for everybody. Your pride and anger isn't worth your life.
Now, the victim family say he was a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant, former trauma nurse, and father of three. Now, his daughter spoke in publicly, saying she don't believe her father deserved to lose his life over a parking dispute and disputes the idea that he posed any kind of threat that justified deadly force.
New at 5, we are learning new details about a deadly shooting that broke out at a Walmart in North Lauderdale. The Broward Sheriff's Office says the woman who fatally shot the man at the store's parking lot is claiming self-defense. Tonight, the man's family is speaking out. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch is your reporter in North Lauderdale with what the man's sister had to say.
I spoke off camera with the sister of the man who was shot. She told me she's upset, but she said her brother was a Christian man and was a decorated military veteran who had served in Desert Storm in the Army National Guard. The Broward Sheriff's Office has identified the man who was shot as 62-year-old Bart Diguglielmo of Lauderhill. His sister, who shared this photo of him with us, told me he was a very good person who would not hurt anyone. She said he had worked as a nurse for 30 years. We discovered he lived in a community for seniors some 3 miles away from where the incident happened. PSO says he was shot in a dispute over a parking space outside the Walmart store at 7900 West McNabb Road, just before 12:30 on Tuesday afternoon. Diguglielmo was transported to Broward Health Medical Center, where he later died. From Chopper 4, we saw a woman in custody in handcuffs. BSO could not confirm that this was a woman who fired her weapon, but BSO says the woman involved remained on the scene and cooperated, and she said she fired in self-defense. Those are the only details being released so far. The woman has not been identified. Meanwhile, BSO says this case is being presented to the Broward State Attorney's Office to see if any charges will be filed. In North Lauderdale, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
Now, this case sparked intense debate online. Some people argue, that once a firearm displayed, the safest thing to do is back away immediately, and I agree. Others believe that evidence should be carefully examined before anyone reaches conclusion about whether the shooting was legally justified.
A deadly confrontation in a Florida Walmart parking lot caught on camera.
A black woman shot a white man dead in the parking lot of a Walmart in Florida because they were having an argument over a parking spot. The black woman wasn't arrested, and I don't think that she will be either, because I believe this was self-defense. In this footage, you can see that she pulls the gun. This man keeps advancing at her as she continually backs up. She's backing around the vehicle multiple times, telling him, "Do not come near me. Walk away, walk away." The man continually keeps coming towards her, and then she shoots. Florida is a stand your ground state. She tried repeatedly to de-escalate and never made any threats towards the man. However, the man refused to listen and kept advancing towards her in a threatening manner. By Florida law, if she can establish that she was in fear for her safety, this is an unfortunate but justified shoot. This whole situation was tragic, but also really stupid. Nobody should be fighting or dying over a parking space at Walmart, and if people would show each other a little more kindness and patience, none of this would have happened. What do y'all think about this, though? Let me know down in the comments.
This man walking up on her, I think, is a mistake. Her pulling the trigger on him is a mistake. I'm not sure if his mistake justifies her mistake. I don't understand how the dispute got to a point where a gun could be pulled, particularly when the other person is unarmed. This is a messy situation. And look, she may have been talking crazy. She may have called him every name in the book. I'm just not walking down a woman.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. I'm not walking down a woman or anybody, especially when they got my ass at gunpoint, and she gave him every opportunity to live. He just didn't take it. She backed around that car multiple times. He could have walked away. It's never that serious, right? But it's funny how the fake black conservatives always try to find a way to make black people look bad. If it was a black man doing that to a white woman, everybody be commending how brave she was.
Breaking news, let's talk about what happened in Florida. Here's the situation. Black lady shoots white man over a parking spot outside of a Walmart. Now I know had this been the other way around, it'd have been a thing. I'm on her side. Get mad about it. I don't play these skin folks game. I don't defend people just cause they look like I do. Sometimes you make clown choices, you win clown prizes. Feller doubled down on dipshittery and dumbassery and won a prize of Darwin dollars. He hit the jackpot. I don't care if he was a 62-year-old man. I don't care if he was a retired Army veteran. I don't care that he was a trauma nurse for 30 years. I don't care that he loved his country. Clearly not enough to want to keep drawing breath in. You can have all the medals and still catch lead playing stupid games. I watched multiple videos, multiple angles. You have to get the full context of this. He had every opportunity to walk away. Did she get out of the car with the gun first? Yes. Will that hurt her claim to self-defense? Maybe. This woman gave this man every opportunity to live. What did he do? Rejected her offer. Harassed and badgered the shit out of her all around the parking lot, and her with a weapon drawn on him around multiple cars until he backed her in a corner and she shot the shit out of her. up. She might catch charges, but that don't mean he wasn't wrong. If Rick Chow gets self-defense, this shouldn't even be an argument. I tell you a secret, my wife is trained to do the same. Follow her around the parking lot, see what happens. She stood on business. She had no duty to retreat. He chose freedom of speech over freedom seats. You know what I have to say to that? Agents at the Natural Selection Hotline, always standing by, waiting your call. Ring, 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 ring. I don't care if he was unarmed. Don't need to be a threat. She held a cell phone and a gun on him the entire time. That was his cue to get the fuck out of there. This is a moment a logical person would have said, now, is this really worth it? This lady's got a gun. Let me run up on her and make it worse. He said walk away. He didn't. He advanced on her. He kept closing the gap while she kept making distance. People saying she got out of that car with the weapon on her shows that she had intent. I don't mean she was ready to cause trouble. That means she was fucking ready for it. I thought rights applied to all Americans. Is that not your right? Freedom fighters? The end. She put the gun on the car. He cooperated with police and is claiming self-defense. I support her fully. There's nothing left to say. I do not feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for his family. They're left to pick up the consequences of his terrible decision. Let me reframe this to you. You lost your life fighting over paint on the fucking ground outside a building you don't even own in a Walmart parking lot. If she had started it, done something illegal, damaged your car, anything, whatever initiated this, you could have called the law. Nope, but you didn't do that, Bart. Does that seem like that balances the scale? I think the fuck not. You gambled with your life and the house won. He didn't stop advancing on her until she put one in his gut. He laid down then. Denying that a man ain't dangerous just cause he's unarmed and don't have a gun is the problem we got right now. Acting like there ain't no differences between men and women, when there clearly is. When a woman says walk away, walk away. 2A is the equalizer, and that's one of many reasons why I support it. Emily said he won't never hurt nobody. That woman didn't know that. He might have not. He sure won't now. Sure wasn't as smart as he could have been. Wisdom chased him and he outran it. All she seen was somebody acting belligerent over a parking spot. A parking spot. Unless more comes out from the investigation proving that she escalated it, I'm on her side. Sorry, Bart. Rip to you. And that's all I gotta say about it. Toodaloo. Go with Lord. Marka.
This is self-defense. She got out of her car with her weapon because she's allowed to go about her day and still protect herself. Look how long it takes her before she points her weapon. He's walking towards her this entire time, still hasn't pointed it. Now she points it. And he continues approaching her to the point where she circles around another vehicle and he's still following her. If this was your daughter and she told you some man was following me, I pointed my gun and he still continued to approach me, you would have wanted her to fire her weapon. And if she doesn't avoid being charged at all, she should beat the trial. If this old man did. Ex-cop acquitted for shooting fellow moviegoer who threw popcorn. A man was at the movies with his wife. He's checking text before the movie starts. An argument ensues. The man who was checking the text threw some popcorn. So this man pulls out a firearm and shoots him. The man who got shot, his wife said it was just a couple of words. No threats, no harm, no nothing. The cop himself said he was unaware that popcorn had hit him until after he had opened fire. Unaware that popcorn had hit him until after he had opened fire, and he still shot and still got off with self-defense. And from what I could see based on news articles, it's because he's old. Old, had a great lawyer, ex-cop. So again, if she doesn't avoid charges completely, hopefully she has a lawyer of that caliber, because she too should be acquitted.
Now ultimately, the whole decision will be made by social media. Detectives are reviewing all available evidence, including witness statements and video recordings, before presenting this case to the state attorney's office. Prosecutor will decide whether the facts support criminal charges or whether the shooting falls under Florida's self-defense laws.
So the New York Post is trapped. They decided to put that this white man, this violent aggressor, was an Army veteran to turn the tides against this black woman that defended herself, stood her ground in the state of Florida as she was being accosted by this violent white man over a parking spot. So basically, if you haven't seen the video, I posted it in an earlier video where this woman basically was walking away. She was trying to put distance between herself and this violent white man who was trying to, I guess, beat her up over a parking spot. She let him know she had a gun. She was on the phone with the police. She kept trying to put distance between herself and him, and he kept accosting her. So she fired one time. And this was in the state of Florida with these stand your ground laws, you know, the ones that white people love to use against black people that they shoot in the state of Florida. And there's no obligation to flee. And she let him know on multiple occasions that she had a gun and she was on the phone with the police, and he still tried to accost her. And she shot him one time, and that killed him. I just hate the way that the New York Post always does this shit, where they love to pretend that white people are the victims when this man literally was the aggressor. And surprisingly, people in the comment section where this picture was posted, where they said, "Woman fatally shoots Army veteran," weren't having this. They all said the exact same thing that I said. He was the aggressor, and this is the state of Florida. Stand your ground. All he had to do was just walk away. This was a parking spot. He could have walked. He could have moved down further, and that could have been it. But he wanted to beat her up over a fucking parking spot and got shot. And he's no longer here. Over a parking spot.
Rush. So you just mentioned this, and this is important. This woman is claiming self-defense. She'll have to argue that she had a fear, an imminent fear for her life. Well, tonight, we have the video, and you'll see it for yourself. And what we also have tonight are the words of the victim's daughter. And you'll see how heartbroken she is. The backstory on this case, she was estranged from her dad for many years. Recently, they were trying to rebuild their lives when he lost his life. We're going to start this with the video. The victim with the gray shirt. The woman with the gun. There is a standoff, and then the shooting. You can hear it.
He was a good man.
A daughter in tears. Amanda lost her 62-year-old father, Bart, shot in the stomach in a Walmart parking lot in North Lauderdale.
I just don't think anybody deserves to lose their life over a parking spot.
Cops say an adult female and the victim were involved in a verbal altercation over a parking space in the Walmart parking lot prior to the shooting.
I don't like to deal with death and like to talk about it at all. That's why I was very hesitant to do this interview.
But you are doing it. Why do you want to speak about your dad?
Because I want my dad to be remembered for who he was and not who the media is portraying him.
Her dad, they got back together. He's turned his life around like we hear all the time. Everybody always turn their life around when they get killed. But this situation, based on what I'm observing, this appears to be a self-defense claim. I mean, you got to think, in the state of Florida, they have stand your ground laws. What does stand your ground laws mean? That means you do not have a duty to retreat. So if you decided to stand here and the person is encroaching on you, you don't have to run. You don't have to avoid them. You can stand right here and stand your ground. And if they encroach upon you and you believe that you could suffer serious bodily injury, which means the guy can beat you half to death or kill you, you can utilize deadly force in self-defense. And so based on what I know and what we can see here, this looks like self-defense to me. Now, there are other contributing factors that could lead this to not be in self-defense, meaning that if where he was walking was to his own vehicle and she shot him, that would preclude this from being self-defense. I don't know what conversations they had before this turned violent, which could also be a contributing factor. A man, whatever argument that they got into, he chased her down. He approached her without ceasing while she had a gun in her hand, trying to avoid him. This is almost textbook self-defense. You have a right to pull a gun out and threaten serious bodily injury to somebody that you think is going to attack you. And then once you point the gun at them and tell them to stop, and they chase you around a car and they keep chasing you, and your back is against the wall, you have nowhere else to go, there's no duty to retreat, and you shoot the guy one time to stop him from encroaching on you, that to me sounds like self-defense.
Now, you know it's an open and shit case if Officer Tap Dance saying so. This fool always find a way to make the black person the one in the wrong. But for real though, situations like this are a reminder how quickly everyday conflicts can turn tragic. A small disagreement over a parking spot ending one person dead, another one facing intense scrutiny, and multiple families change forever. What y'all think? Based on what we know so far, do you believe this appears to be self-defense, or do you think she should have filed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's Jake Banks, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace.